Good afternoon to you, Stephen. Yes, I'm outside the mother church of the Catholic Church in England and Wales right now. This is Westminster Cathedral, and you can see just over my shoulder that the flag of the Vatican City is flying at half-mast today as a sign of respect for Pope Benedict XVI, who was laid to rest in the Vatican City today. And people have been coming in and out of the church today, paying their respects, saying a prayer, lighting a candle for the soul of Pope Benedict. And many have been remarking to me about how simple but poignant that service was this morning in the Vatican City. It's exactly as Pope Benedict XVI had requested. He wanted it to be simple. He wanted a plain coffin, a simple Catholic requiem mass, and that's exactly what was achieved today. Pope Benedict won't be remembered for his media personality. He didn't like the adoring crowds at the Vatican. He much preferred to be alone with his studies and with his books, and that kind of simple sense came across in the Mass today. Very reflective, very peaceful and quiet, like the man was himself. But just to show how loved Pope Benedict remains 10 years after he resigned as Pope of the Catholic Church, there was a gentle applause as his coffin was carried down the steps into St. Peter's Square. Many people clutching at their rosary beads and saying the rosary to themselves as his coffin was very gently placed onto the ground. I think it was quite significant to see Pope Francis, who's actually wheeled in a wheelchair to the funeral, not looking in great health himself, but he looked like a grieving man, very human at that funeral as he presided over his predecessor's funeral. He spoke Pope Benedict's own writings in his sermon, which was a really beautiful tribute, and there was a very touching moment at the end of the funeral where he held the coffin of Pope Benedict and knelt his head in a final prayer. The two had become very close friends over the last 10 years. Pope Benedict had controversially remained living within the walls of the Vatican. He kept his name, Pope Benedict XVI, and he continued to wear his white papal gown. But the two did get along very well, despite being from different sides of the Catholic Church, Pope Benedict being a staunch conservative and Pope Francis being more of a forward thinker, more of a progressive ruler in the Catholic Church. And it will be very interesting to see now how Pope Francis's leadership changes now that he is standing alone as head of the Catholic Church. But it really was a truly beautiful service today, very peaceful and immensely reflective on a man who changed history when he was the first pope to abdicate in over 600 years.